Time is fleeting. Now is the opportunity. You see, the greater the danger and the urgency, the less the complacency of the warning. In December 2004, an earthquake opened a fault line deep beneath the Indian Ocean. That triggered a tsunami. And that tsunami's wave would reach somewhere around 57 feet high. When that 57-foot wave hit land, it almost instantaneously devastated, washed away entire communities, entire towns. Some of the figures of its devastation, it displaced somewhere around 570,000 people, destroyed nearly 200,000 buildings and homes. And this is the figure that just struck me. It killed over 227,000 people. It was a catastrophe of overwhelming proportions, but what made the destruction and the death toll of the tsunami so tragic is that despite there was a delay of hours between when the earthquake happened and when the wave hit land, there was no warning. There was no alert. There was no plea for folks to get out of its way. The day that tsunami hit in late December of that year, over 250,000 people went about their routine without the slightest concern that a massive wave was approaching them that would take their life. Millions of people went about their day regular, the things that you and I are planning to do tomorrow, going to work, going to school, buying groceries, doing errands, taking kids to activities, all the things that we do just regular and common. We don't write them down, they're not significant, they're just the normal activities of our life. Millions of people that day went about their day completely unaware that there was a massive wave already on its way that would wipe out towns and cities and kill nearly 250,000 people in an instant. Surely, if they had known what was coming, there would have been a hasty evacuation to higher ground. Surely, if they had known what was coming, they would have rushed away from the destruction zone. They would have called their families and their friends. They would have said to their neighbors, "You must leave now." But they went about their days, unconcerned, unworried, with no warning. They went about their daily activities with no concern for the approaching danger. The gospel is the good word that wicked sinners can be reconciled to God through the reconciliation of Jesus. God's judgment is coming. His wrath is great and terrible. Yet as an act of grace, God has commissioned the saints to be his ambassadors to proclaim to the world. Salvation is in Jesus. Reconciliation is available through Jesus, who for our sake God made him to be sin, who knew no sin, so that in him we might become the righteousness of Jesus. What a beautiful, good word. If you have believed it, it transforms how you live and who you are. If you believe that, it transforms how you relate to one another. You become ambassadors for the gospel. Dear friends, heed the word of the gospel today. Be reconciled to God and be saved.